first dates. This is a nickname I gave myself before I worked out that the king of first dates should probably be getting second dates. Whereas what I was doing was convincing women to hang out with me, and then when they did, never hearing from them again. It was sort of the dating equivalent of, you know those charity workers on Buchanan Street? They like jump in and interrupt your day and say, excuse me, can I just talk to you about this poor wee unfortunate soul? I know it's a shame, but with your generous donation of just 1 date a week, you could really make his life a lot better. And the girls, they would nod and they would agree and they would give you a fake email address and then run for the hills. I shouldn't have been asking for email addresses in the middle of dates, that's sort of what I've learned. So for example, I'm unemployed right now, but I used to work in a theatre. And I'd sometimes get free tickets to shows, which I thought was a pretty impressive date. So I took a girl to a theatre, thanks. Thank you people for laughs, that's the point. Thanks. So, took her along to the theatre, and when I worked there, my favourite people who would come to the bar are the ones who would happily split a bottle of wine into 2 pint glasses. And my second favourite people were the ones who would not be caught dead drinking wine out of a pint glass. And you can guess who I was dating. And I'm a modern man, so I was more than happy to let her pay for the pints of wine. So we go down, we see the show, it's pretty good, big standing ovation at the end, and I nip out to the bathroom. And then when I come out, auditorium's clearing, but there's some big kind of like fracas happening down towards the front, right where we were sitting. So I go down and I see my date leaning over 2 rows, getting right in the face of the girl a few rows in front. I thought, lucky me, this is my date. So I go down and find out what's happening. So it turns out the gent behind us had complained about us standing at the end to celebrate because he couldn't see, and then he left, so he wasn't involved. And the girl in front turned to my date to agree with her that we should have been standing. She was agreeing so aggressively, the staff were worried it was going to come to blows, and they asked us all to leave as quickly as we could. So, at this point, I'm fairly intimidated by this girl. We're both quite inebriated, and I am utterly infatuated with her. So I walk up to the train station, and I think, like, let's end this date in a high. And again, I'm a modern man, so I can stay to her at the train station. Had a really nice night. Can I give you a kiss before you get in the train? She says, yeah, that's fine. I was like, great, magic. As I start to lean in, and she's like, do you want to check again? Are you sure there's no pressure? Are you sure you want to kiss this guy? She's like, yeah, it's going well. So eyes are closed. You're 90% of the way into the lean. Just want to check one more time. Are you sure you want to kiss this guy? You'd be amazed how many women at this point don't want to kiss this guy. And I'm on their side, I'm with them, trust me. But that doesn't happen here, which is great. So it was during the kiss, and I'm sure this has happened to everyone in the room, right? But it was during the kiss that I burped. Right in her mouth. Now I say, I'm sure it's happened to all of us, right? So it's fine. I'm very lucky to be in the privileged position of being a middle-aged white guy, so it didn't cross my mind to apologise, of course. I didn't even consider taking accountability. It's a new word I'm trying to learn, but I'm pretty sure it's no, I simply leant back and said, oof, I've not even had any fizzy juice today, and walked off the low-level trains. So you'd be surprised to know that I am now back living with my elderly parents, and I am looking to get the big 3. I'm trying to get a job, trying to get a place of my own, and I'm trying to get a girlfriend. And I thought I was getting there recently. I met a girl, quite a nice girl, quite a posh girl. She had a beautiful flat in the West End. She'd go out for nice fancy meals. She loved looking down on the working classes. She's a really nice girl. Now we've been on 3 dates, which for those of you keeping track, the king of first dates, I have blown his record out the water. And we're texting to arrange date 4, right? And I get some good news, so I share it with her, and I say, hey, I've got a job interview next Monday morning. And she texts back, and this is line 1 of the text, congrats, but that news has triggered me slightly. Now, I didn't know I was dating someone who used Facebook words in real life, so that was a bit, but I have triggered her slightly. She did go on to explain herself, and basically she'd had partners in the past who weren't financially stable, didn't have a place of their own, weren't very independent. So we're a bit of a mismatch of where we are right now. And like, I respect that, that's fair enough, but I don't really think she's looking at the bigger picture here. Because as I say, like, I'm living back at home with my elderly parents, and flu season is right around the corner. I think there's a high chance chance I'm going to have a place of my own very, very soon. And I mean, that job interview didn't go the way I wanted it to, and I don't think the job of coffin bearer at your mum's funeral pays particularly well. But I'm sure a few months later, like once the inheritance comes in, so I kind of think that as soon as there's a will, there'll be a way for me to actually think about it. I've been Mclaughlin, email address is there.